Hello, 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 hello. What's up, Tero fam? Aquaba Karibu. Bienvenue. You're welcome to your channel. So we're back again to this week with another Showmentary of The Ring on It, Season 3, Episode 7, Family Matters Part 2. So let's get down straight to it. So this week is the second part of the um the couples meeting the family members and trying to get advice for them to better their relationships. So once again, we're going to do a couple by couple, and then we move on to the group session with Dr. Nicole, right? So let's talk about the our athletic couple, which is Otis and Charlena. So the show started off where he left off last week. So they're both on the date this time, and Charlena is trying to get some type of accountability from Otis. Eventually, she does because he apologizes and also he attempts to be accountable. He even sheds a tear. Listen, I don't care a lie would tell it, but I don't think his tears were genuine. I still think that he's in the mode well of doing the last kind of like last ditch attempt to keep her from not breaking up with him. But it's not up to me, it's up to her. She believes him, and it seems she's going back on a decision for breaking up with him, and she wants to work things out and see how it turns out. I still think she should leave at this point, but I also understand that she wants to see this through, and especially for us women, once we have so many years invested in a relationship, it's kind of hard for us to leave. So yeah, so I guess she's giving him another chance, right? So she wants to work on things and give it a all. So we'll see what happens. So we also have another session, another scene with Charlena where she meets all the girls and basically they discuss all the problem issues, all the problems, sorry, in the relationship. A bit of the same way last week when the men kind of met together and gathered around the pool. This time is ladies' time. They gather, I guess, in a bar to have a drink and to talk about things. So it's basically the same issues. Charlena gets grilled about what happened last week at the group session with Didi Milan and the outburst and the same. But it seems like Shay is very good at giving advice to Charlena and not giving advice to herself. I mean, she has her own issues within her own relationship, right? So, in a nutshell, Shorty, she's not ready to marry Kenneth. She says that she knows it, she's fully aware, which even reinforced my idea that she's just using this show as a scapegoat to break up with him. She knows very well that she's not going to marry this man and she's about to go. It seems to me that she's preparing an exit, and Charlena is confused because the way she talks about Otis, I can tell that she's angry at him. She resents him for so many things, but at the same time she wants to make it work. And Shay is also confused because she keep asking the same thing out of Alfonso. She's not getting it. It's kind of like, you know how you do the same thing and you expect different outcome? That's exactly what she's been doing. So they chop it up, and then we move on to our opposite attract couple, Shorty and Kenneth. So this week it's their turn because last week they went on a date, an explosive date, I must say. So this week is their turn to meet with the family members and see what they get from this relationship. And also, Shorty will be going for a date later on with Tavy. So let's start with Kenneth. So Kenneth has his brother come around to talk over his relationship, to talk about Shorty. So during the conversation, we found out that Shorty has the habit of ringing Kenneth's mother every time they have an issue and kind of like to vent, to complain about Kenneth to her or to his family members. That's what the brother explains, and he's not happy about that because he thinks it doesn't matter how kind or what kind of person she is, they're still going to side with the brother, which is normal. That's what they're supposed to do because blood is thicker than water, right? So He's not cool with it and is advising him that is something they should work on, and he thinks that she's wrong for doing that. So this episode actually showed us what she's also doing wrong to create issues in a relationship, like how she contributing to this dynamic, right? So and then later on, she has a mom come over to discuss Kenneth, right? And I tell you, when I saw that mom, I was like, I was right from the very beginning. African descent, African origin, I was spot on. So the mama came like in full African mode attire from head to toe. Okay. So the mom says basically she doesn't know Kenneth very well, but from what she's saying, he seems like a pleasant guy. The only issue is, and she goes on by what her daughter told her, he doesn't seem to be very mature and he doesn't seem to be financially stable. And she knows that those are deal breakers for Shorty. So Shorty even confirms it, and it seems like he reinforced the idea that she's not willing to settle with Kenneth until those things are sorted. And I'm like, Shorty, you knew what it was when you met him, and he ain't changed for all these years. So it's either you accept it or you move on. But it takes time for a man to get himself together financially. So if you're already there and you don't want to wait for him, I guess you should just move on, right? Later on, we see her. She goes on a date with Tavi. They go for a coffee. Clearly, these two they like each other. They have mad chemistry. They're enjoying each other's company. They're enjoying each other's conversation. Conversation this time was a bit serious. They get some serious question about themselves. Like she asked him why he's still single. He explained that it's by choice because he's been busy with his businesses. So he didn't have the time to dedicate to a relationship. That's why I didn't want to get into one, which I think is fair enough and is also very honest. And she also asked him if he what did she ask him? Question about marriage. How does he feel about marriage? Normal question, serious question that you ask during a date. He seems to have all the right answer, and she's definitely smitten. So I think she would definitely go out with him on a third date. But she also expresses concern that by going out on the third date with him, it's kind of like reinforces that emotional connection that she has with him and weakens emotional connection with Kenneth. So we're going to see how this turns out. But I really hope she just doesn't accept Kenneth engagement for the show. I really hope she just sets the record straight and walk off. Because what I hate on this show is, yeah, they go through all this process, they do the engagement, only for them to break up like 2 to 3 months later. And I'm like, what's the point? You might as well just broken up on the show, right? So we found out. Now let's move on to our glamorous couple, right? Shay and Fonzo. So Shay and Fonzo, they're still on the same issues, right? So last week we saw Shay. She met up with her mama and her auntie. So this week, I think Fonzo is meeting up. He has a one-on-one session with Dr. Nicole, and we also see him having a one-on-one with his lady. So they talk about the same thing, and he seems to have this blasé attitude about everything, and he still laughs about when she's hurt and when she's trying to express her deep feelings and all that. But nothing's really changed between them. She's still fussing about the fact that he didn't introduce her to the family, like the fact that the family doesn't know her, the ex doesn't know her like that. She's not into his children's lives. So, but for him, it's more like he makes assumption a lot, and she tells him like assumption actually creates problem. So instead of making assumption, he needs to make sure that he has all the facts and that it is what it is. So I still think she should leave him. It's one of the things here, and I think she has made that very clear. If at this point he doesn't introduce her formally to the family, I think she should just leave because it seems like that's what she wants. And if he can't give her what she wants for the reasons that he has that are unbeknownst to me at this point, she should just go. So during a session with Dr. Nicole, it was actually interesting because he recognized that he needs to make things clear and official between Shay and I to his mom, to his family, and most importantly to his ex. Because apparently it looks like with the ex, the mother of his child, they broke up 4 years ago. They haven't been together, but they also didn't have that closure because they still hang out and do things together as a family because of the child. And he said it clearly that the ex wants him back, and it doesn't seem to make it clear that he's actually moved on and is even engaged to someone else. So once again, the problem is him. He makes assumption. He doesn't want to clarify things, so he kind of like likes to be in this gray area, and then that's not what she wants, right? So it was a good session. He seems accountable, and Dr. Nicole actually encourages him to like set things clear, you know, to make sure that everybody knows what's what. So during the group session, first of all, let's clarify the date thing. I think I was right last week about Tavy. That she's definitely going to see him again this week. And they asked Shorty if she's going to see him again next week. She said yes. And she explained that a date with Kenneth was very tense and clearly they were not on the same page. And Dr. Nicole advised them that it's about how they deal with the tension and most importantly, how they recover from it. So it's food for thought. I mean, Kenneth was just mad. Like, he cannot hide his emotion when she said that she wanted to see Tavy again. I mean, go on, girl. Do what you gotta do. See what's out there and then make your decision. Even if she doesn't want to be with someone else, but the fact that she just walks along, goes along, does her own thing, I think it's great. You do her some good, right? So just move on to Shay and Alfonso. So when they ask about the family dynamic, Shay said that Alfonso actually gets along very well with her family member to the point where they even gave him a nickname, Fonzie. So Fonzie is Kumbaya, is Esbun Kunz with Shay's family, which makes it very hard for her because she has that feeling that it's gonna be hard for her to walk away. But she's also trying to convince herself that it's okay for her to do so if she feels like it. I don't think she feels like it's okay. I feel like for her, she was gonna try to make it work no matter what. And the fact that her family loves him is definitely harder, you know. So Dr. Nicole basically asked her what's different, like this time that she came around, and highlight the fact that they got back together almost put them in the same spot like where they were before because she did not set any boundaries for Alfonso. Like there is no new term for them getting back together. Like for this time for the relationship around, they need to set new boundaries, new terms. So she can clearly explain what she wants and actually what she wants to get out of it. So our last couple, Otis and Charlene. So he explained how he had a private talk with his dad, Otis. I love the advice that his dad gave him. I love his personality, and I think he's very wise from what he said to his son. And he tried to take accountability. He tried to apply the advice for like 2 seconds, but it didn't work. I don't think his accountability is real. I think Otis is fake. He's just playing the game. But anywho, so he tried to show emotions, like he got one teary eye, but which seems to work for Charlena because she backtracks and she said she would like to see where this go and how it's gonna end up. She talked about a date with Chris. Now she went on a date with Chris. The guy who likes to go out with women who are already taken. I mean, that guy is just crazy, you know. So they ask her if she wants to go on another date with Chris. She said no. So the rest we'll find out next week. I think this episode was pretty chill. there wasn't really much that happened. I guess next episode, that's where the shit's gonna hit the fan. It's going to be a lot that's gonna happen next week. It's going to be very dramatic, spicy from the little trailer that I've seen. But this week was really cool. So yeah. So what do you think about this episode again? Do you think that Shorty is right to move in with Tavi? Is she in the right direction, or do you think she should give Kenneth another go? Do you think Otis was being sincere by saying that, by shedding a tear and showing that he is actually feeling accountable? Do you think that Alfonso actually understood now what Shay's needs are? Well, put all your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you're a subscriber, thank you for rocking with me from the beginning. It means a lot to me. It means the world to me every time somebody subscribe actually. And it also encourages me to do more. Don't forget to also like the video, share it with your friends, your family members, and don't forget to hit that bell as well so you know what's up next time. Okay? Till next time, Turtle Farm. Bye.